Hey, boys and girls, welcome to the episode of Grandpa Story Hour. I am Jason, Wyatt, and Bailey's grandpa. Hey, Jason. Hey, Wyatt. Hey, Bailey. Grandpa loves you guys a lot. So, we've been reading stories out of this book, which has been a fun time. And today we read from one of my favorite movies, which is the movie Soul. So, thank you very much, moms and dads, especially Jason, Wyatt, and Bailey's mom and dad, for letting me read to you guys today. Here we go. You ready? Can you see that? Oh, yeah, you can see it. Joe Gardner fought the urge to cover his ears. His middle school band students were playing a basic jazz number, but they couldn't keep up, keep time, or keep still. The same day, Joe learned that his part-time teaching job had been made full-time, but Joe's dream was to play jazz. He believed it was what he was born to do, his true purpose. Pretty cool pictures, huh? Later that day, Joe's phone rang. It was Curly Baker, one of Joe's former students. He told Joe about an audition for the Dorothea Williams Quartet. Joe hurried to the legendary jazz club, the Half Note, to audition with the quartet. When it was time for his solo, Joe closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the music flow. Afterward, Joe saw that everyone had stopped to listen. Dorothea Williams smiled and said, "Get a suit. Teach a good suit. Back here tonight. First show's at 9, sound check's at 7. We'll see how you do." Joe walked through the city, chatting on his cell phone. "I got a gig." Just then, Joe saw a motorcycle heading right for him. He stepped out of the way and fell into an empty manhole. Yikes. Joe's fall landed him on a moving sidewalk headed for a bright light in the distance. It was the great beyond. He turned and ran away from the light. Joe ripped through a barrier and started falling again. Joe landed in a beautiful bright meadow. A counselor named Jerry appeared and welcomed Joe to the U seminar. Jerry thought Joe was a lost mentor, a soul who had lived an amazing and inspiring life. Mentors help the new souls find their spark and earn their earth paths. Getting an earth pass would be Joe's ticket home. Meanwhile, high above the moving sidewalk, the U Seminar's accountant, Terry, counted the souls as they passed. "There's a soul missing," she said. "The count's off." The counselors assigned Joe a troublesome soul known as 22. She had already been through hundreds of mentors, but Joe was unlike the others. He wanted to go back to Earth. The young soul couldn't believe it. She agreed to give him her Earth pass as soon as they found her spark. The pair made their way to the Hall of Everything, but nothing inspired 22. She tried lots of professions, but still, no spark, and no earth pass. She took Joe to the astral plane and introduced him to a crew of quirky characters, the Mystics. They helped Joe open a portal to Earth. Joe closed his eyes, focusing on his body on Earth. Joe could see himself lying in a hospital bed, a therapy cat curled in his lap. Joe was ready to jump through, but Moonwind was worried. No, Joe, don't rush this. It's not the right time," the mystic said. Joe jumped anyway, accidentally knocking 22 into the portal with him. Doing a good job listening. I'm impressed. Grandpa's impressed. Once they got to Joe's apartment, there was a knock on the door. It was Connie from Joe's music class. She told Joe that she wanted to quit the trombone. But when Connie played, it was clear she loved music. Inside Joe's body, 22 was feeling something she'd never felt before. Inspired. "I'll help you," 22 said, "but I want to try a few things while we're here. If Connie can find something she loves, maybe I can too." Later, an unexpected gust of wind knocked Joe's hat off. As 22 bent over to grab it, Joe's pants ripped at the seam. There was only one place where they could go to get the pants fixed in a hurry. That'd be Joe's mom's tailor shop. For the first time, Joe was ready to tell his mom, Liba, exactly what his dream meant to be. He leaned in and told 22 just what to say. Look, if I'm doing what I love, no matter how hard it is, I'll be fine. Liba listened and smiled. Then she opened the door and pulled over a surprise. Joe's dad's suit. Back on Earth, Joe sat at... Oh, I'm sorry. Skipped a page. As Joe and 22 waited for Moonwind outside the half note, 22 watched a maple seed slowly spin to the ground. Maybe she hadn't found her spark in the Hall of Everything because her spark was walking or sky watching. Joe didn't think those were real purposes. He told her she would have to keep trying to find her purpose when she got back to the U seminar. Upset, 22 ran down the street and ducked into the subway station. Joe was right behind her, meowing furiously. Then, out of nowhere, Terry appeared. A portal scooped up Joe and 22, and their souls returned to the U seminar. Suddenly, the counselors were congratulating 22. She had earned her Earth Pass. But the young soul still had no idea what her spark was. She handed Joe her Earth Pass. It filled in because I was your body, being you. It's your spark that changed it, not mine, said 22. She slipped away, leaving Joe alone at the portal's edge. Joe was upset, but he needed to get back to Earth. Music was his purpose. It was what he was meant to do. Joe took the Earth Pass and jumped into the portal. Uh-oh, what's going on here now? Back on Earth, Joe sat at the half-note piano as Dorothea Williams' quartet took the stage. He played perfectly, but later, after the show, Joe felt unfulfilled. He went home and played his piano. As he played more intensely, he closed his eyes and entered the zone. Then, when he opened his eyes, he was back in the astral plane. Moonwind was waiting for Joe. Something was wrong. 22 wasn't herself. She had become a lost soul, angry and destructive. The enraged soul rampaged through the U seminar. No one could stop her. No, wait, 22. I was wrong, Joe apologized, promising 22 she was ready for Earth. But 22 couldn't hear him. In a last desperate attempt, Joe reached out and placed a maple seed in 22's hand, a reminder of her love for Earth. Joe gave 22 back her Earth Pass and walked her to the edge of the Earth portal. She and Joe leapt into the portal, and 22's Earth Pass began to glow. He smiled reassuringly as she let go of his hand, and Joe returned once more to the great beyond. Sweet story. Joe was back on the moving sidewalk when Counselor Jerry stopped him. Joe had inspired all the counselors, and they had a special gift for him. An earth portal materialized beside the sidewalk. So Joe took one more fateful step, unsure of what lay ahead, but prepared to appreciate each and every moment of his wonderful life. Great story. And as you can see next week, Jason, Wyatt, Bailey, a day out with mom. Perfect for you guys. Think about with your mom. All right. Thank you so much. Hey, moms and dads, let me thank you very much for letting your children be with Grandpa today. We do have a Venmo account. If you'd like to give to that, that would be wonderful. Until next time, have a great day. And boys and girls, Jason, Wyatt, and Bailey, be nice to mommy and daddy. They love you, and I do too. Bye.